this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, you're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake. And
Hi.
we're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Well, I'll let Jake start us off today and
Okay.
show us some
Well,
stuff.
I have a theme this week, and that is I'm working through my backlog of library pickups, which I think should work just fine. Now, for my first one, I'm a little bit puzzled. I think this is the first season, but it says the complete collection, and it says featuring every episode. So but as far as I can tell, I think it's just the first season. But it is a BBC production that is supposedly quite good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's a mystery series. It's apparently from the late 80s, 89, 90, basically, called Campion. And basically, based on the novels by Marjorie Allingham, starring Peter Davison, Brian Glover, and Andrew Burke. And it's about it says in 1930s England, a man from an aristocratic family takes up the pseudonym Albert Campion, and with the help of his ex-burglar manservant, solves mysteries. So that sounds kind of fun, you know? Sounds like a good old jolly good time.
There
What's
are
that?
only 2 seasons of the series and 16
Right.
episodes in total, so...
But as far as I can tell, this only has 8 episodes. That's what I'm wondering about. Yeah. I'll know. Oh, Michael Goh was in a couple episodes. I'm sure there's a couple other well-known people that showed up, but yeah, whatever. That's good to know. But yeah, good times. I always like picking up some BBC stuff really cheap, you know, because that doesn't happen so often. And this one does look fun.
Well, I wanted to go ahead and put an anime in here to appeal to the anime collectors group when I post this, because there are no other anime. So I guess you guys can stop watching after here, unless you have some. Do you have anime coming up?
Not this go round.
Okay.
I have one for next week, and I'm looking forward to that, but not yet.
So I got this from Right Stuff. Just came out, and that is Lupin the Third, The Last Job, which is a pretty cool looking thing right there. From what it sounds like, Inspector Zenigata might actually have died in this episode or in this movie, or have come close to death, and Lupin is dealing with that. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's been a long haul, but it's always been predicted that The Last Job was Casa Cagliostro. But it's been a couple of years since Casa Cagliostro released, so you never know. I'm a big Lupin collector. I'm sure that there is not any shortage. Plus, should the theaters open up, the new Lupin the Third movie is going to be in theaters, so that will be fun. I look forward to that.
All right. Dang it, why did I have to listen to what you were just saying and look at Right Stuff? They're actually doing a good Naruto sale.
Mm-hmm.
Really good one. Yeah, anyway. So, speaking of quality and class and things that people need to jump on, this was one that, once again, library pickup, really cheap. I got it for $1 and it was worth every penny. And it's a Jerry Bruckheimer production. So that tells you something right there. Starring Nicolas Cage, which tells you something right there. And it's a movie called Gone in 60 Seconds. Also Angelina Jolie, Giovanni Ribisi, Delroy Lindo, Will Patton, Christopher Eccleston, Kai McBride, Robert Duvall. I mean, you got to admit, it's a pretty good cast. I mean, it really is. And do you ever see this one?
I have. It's been a while.
I've only seen it once, and it has been a while. And I remembered it being good fun. Not a classy film, but it was good fun.
I need to sit down and watch my Star Wars film. Well, speaking of newer pickups, actually all of this was behind one pickup, and I'll get to it as we go. And one of these is the Resident Evil Origins collection. So now, way back in the day of the early PlayStation, there was a game called Resident Evil, where you and a bunch of elite police officers were tracking down your lost buddies, and you tracked them down to this mansion, which turned out to be filled with zombies. Well, eventually it was remade on the GameCube, and that is the game that they remade. Now, it looked good, and even now it holds up very well. But they did, a little while ago, do a remastering of that one, and put it out again for some of the more recent consoles. I consider it something that holds up pretty well. Gameplay is fun. Scares are still there. It is a worthy successor to the name, especially when you talk about these remakes that have been going around lately. But also on here is the Resident Evil 0 remaster, which is that prequel. They are the people that you were going in to save or follow up about. And that stars Rebecca Chambers, who makes an appearance in the first game. And she runs across this convict. The convict has kind of made a jailbreak, and they are surrounded by zombies. It has a couple of interesting and unique features, such as the lack of item boxes, which is every other game in the main numbered series has them. Here you have to kind of leave them as they go, but you have a partner, and you can switch back and forth as partners to do puzzles and such. It's a really good game. It was originally designed for the N64 and then eventually came to GameCube. Again, looking very good, very sharp. But that also got the the remastering treatment, and now I have both of them on disc for the PlayStation. So that's going to be fun to dig into. I think after Final Fantasy VII, I'll end up digging into these games and maybe do a full run or something. So I'm going to put it back to you.
All right. So another one that I have seen once that's, high art is a fairly comedic film from a few years ago called The Watch, which is Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and Richard Ayoade. And basically, it's about 4 civic-minded citizens armed with flashlights, walkie-talkies, and spiffy new jackets have teamed up to safeguard their community. The guys find more than they bargained for when they uncover an alien plot to destroy Earth. And now these bumbling heroes are Glenview's only chance to save the neighborhood and the world from annihilation. It's good, goofy, fun, kind of on the raunchy side of the humor. But, good times.
Well, my theme you'll be able to guess, I hope, at this point. So the next game that I got was the Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, I loved the original back in the day. It was a 2-disc game. You played as Leon, this guy who's got his first day on the job in Raccoon City, and Claire, the sister to one of the main characters in the first game. Unfortunately, they happen to show up right after a zombie apocalypse is starting in the city. So they need to fight their way out. It's fun because you get to do 2 campaigns, and then you can recycle it and run it again instead of because there's an A and a B campaign. So you can actually get 2 good playthroughs out of there, because you can play Leon A game, Claire B game, and then you can play Claire A game, Leon B game. It's very fun. They did an excellent job with the graphical up-res for this, and it has a lot of cool factors, including the scary Mr. X that comes after you. It is very difficult, much more difficult than the original, but I've beaten it, so most people should be able to beat it. I'll look forward to checking it out and going through it yet again. Maybe starting with Claire this time and going through with Lee.
Good times. All right, is my goal? Okay. So my next one is a little bit different. Every now and then I manage to get some actual music videos. I don't aggressively collect them, but I always like to have them as something different in my collection. I actually have a bunch on VHS that may not be possible to convert, so I'm kind of figuring out if I can say goodbye or if I want to actually try to hold on to those. But I did, but this was definitely a good pickup, and I was very happy. There was a time back in the day, back when she basically ruled the earth, that I was a huge fan of Shania Twain. It's been a while, but I still appreciate her. And I definitely appreciated the idea of getting a collection of 21 music videos for like $1. So that's what this is. It's called the Platinum Collection, and it's 21 videos, all the way from her first self-titled album all the way up through the album Come On Over, which really it's only 3 albums. But she did a lot of videos. She, again, during the late 90s, it was kind of hard to turn on any country-themed channel and escape her. And I will admit, she looked pretty good back in the day and whatever. So this one's a little bit of a mixed bag musically. Some of the songs have not aged well in my mind, but some of them are still classics. My favorite one always was If You're Not In It For Love, I'm Out of Here. And, that's a classic. So very happy to get that and add it to the collection for something a little different.
Very fun indeed. So the main reason I got started on this was this release here, Resident Evil 3, the remake. That came out this past week. And it also comes with the online game Resistance. I haven't tried it yet, but I plan on it. I've been working on playing the third one, and this one stars Jill Valentine, the other character from the first one, as she starts off earlier in the campaign that is going on during here and then ends after this campaign. She is trying to get her way out of the city, which is infested with zombies and various genetic monsters. A lot of people are angry because it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more action-oriented than this one. It's also much shorter. And there are a few items that were taken out of the original game, like the clock tower piece. Now, that does bother me because I did like the clock tower portion of the game, but as far as ease or anything like that, really and truly, it was a short game to begin with, the original one was. And unless you played it on really hard, it was much easier. Yeah, it was a more action-oriented Resident Evil game. And now that I've heard that they are remaking 4 instead of Code Veronica, I don't understand why. It still kind of bothers me. But still, I look forward to completing this.
All right. All right.
So this is your last one?
All right. So my last one is it my go? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So my last one is a film that actually, again, interesting pedigree, apparently presented by Steven Spielberg, written by Chris Columbus, and directed by Barry Levinson. That's an interesting grouping there. And it's a film from the mid-'80s called Young Sherlock Holmes, which I feel like, was this mentioned recently on Movies Galore? I feel like I saw it mentioned very recently. I don't know.
I remember saying something with, it had to do with Young Sherlock Holmes. Oh, yeah, in the Jurassic Park episode.
Okay.
The Young Sherlock Holmes was one of the first times that they'd been using computer animation to great effect, like that stained glass warrior fight thing.
True, that's where I saw that. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I've never seen this, but I've heard about it. It looks fun, and I'll be happy to give it a try.
All right. Well, my finishing is a big one. So I just thought I would show off these because they have a point. So, of course, you had your Resident Evil 4, which followed Leon again. And they're trying to remake this, which I don't think is needed. It was pretty good looking graphically, even though it was back on the PlayStation 2 GameCube days. It still holds up. Gameplay holds up. It actually helped transition this game to more of an action-y type thing. And Leon was fighting these new type of zombies and more intelligent zombies because they have this kind of parasite in them controlling them. It's a pretty good game. I really enjoy it, and I look forward to playing it again. Also, Resident Evil 5, which this came out on the Xbox 360 era. I wonder if they're going to try and remake this next after they do this one. I understand because this one was a game changer and everybody loves that game. I can understand that. This one kind of went under people's radar. It did introduce Shiva as a character here with Chris, and you could have some fun two-player co-op. The challenge, it was more of an action-oriented because you could keep replaying levels, and ammo scarcity was not a thing in that game. It still had some fun. I really do enjoy it. I think it's kind of overlooked as a classic. And, of course, Resident Evil 6, which just went almost entirely action. You didn't have to worry about as much ammo scarcity. You didn't have to worry about puzzles, though it was also a really fun two-player co-op experience. Now, the one I purchased was Resident Evil 7, the Gold Edition. And the reason why I got this when I already have a copy of it is because for $10, I got this with all of the DLC. When getting... there's a End of Zoe story expansion, which is the last DLC. I'd have to pay $30 to get that DLC on its own. So why not just pay $10 and get it all on one disc? And I'll be happy with that. So why did I put all that out? Is because this is the first time where you can have all I pick up the wrong one. All 7 Resident Evil games on one system. You can go 0 through 7 number-wise, and you can get it on hard disks. So I just think it's really cool to have them all together. I would love to get Veronica, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. So, But with that being said, I think that's about all we've got for this time around. Do you have anything else to say to our wonderful audience? I guess not. Well, any case,
I think I'm good for this go around.
Actually,
so I guess tune in next week for more features.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing a vlogcast this week. If you're thinking you missed it because my voice is already dying, I might actually ask for you if you would do the whole thing, the like, subscribe, share thing, if you'll say that to our people here.
Yes, so for our people here, as per usual, like, share, subscribe, get this out there. We're close to the 200 mark, and it'd be quite nice to be on the other side of that mark, and definitely glad to have you as always. Let us know what fun things you found this week. All right? All right?
Goodbye.